post that picture of us crying on Instagram?
Oh, it's a video. It's going into the episode. For sure.
God damn it. I'm gonna do everything in my power to not just sob through this episode. Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 3, long time. I'm already having such a hard time. But I don't even like Linda Ronstadt, and now that's like the saddest song I've ever heard. Okay, we're gonna try super hard to get through this because it was like an exceptional episode of television, but we are both extremely emotionally fragile right now and might just throw ourselves into the sea. So, all right, let's start where we start. Joel and Ellie are trying to get to Bill. They are walking. They come across a Cumberland Farms gas station and they go inside because Joel's got some stuff he needs to get. And Ellie goes on a little adventure into the basement. First she finds tampons, which good looking out.
Yeah, really.
And then she goes into the basement of the gas station and there is an infected down there, but he's like trapped under a bunch of
Cinder blocks?
Rubble kind of, yeah. And so she fucking toys with him first and like slices his head and then she just fucking stabs him. Cool effects still. I think that the infected look really cool. It's like such a neat design. It's so different from like any other like zombie thing.
I just appreciate all of the fungus.
It's so weird.
Rather than just like gaping wounds and like pus and blood and all that. It makes it more palatable since, like, spoiler alert, because, you know, I'm not normally sitting in this chair for this show. I hate zombie stuff.
She doesn't like it. Will's a little under the weather. That's why Rachel is here today.
But it, like, zombie stuff for me is the most plausible. That this show is like,
it could happen.
But so this zombie journey so far has been my favorite of my experience.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit of stuff between the two of them, like Ellie feels bad about Tess, but she's also like, it's not my fault. You can't keep treating me like it's my fault.
Yeah.
Like you guys all needed your own thing and you agreed to like take me, so this is not on me. And then they have like a pretty good conversation while they're walking, and like he's trying to keep Ellie from seeing the like pit of skeletons essentially, which is nice.
Like just literally a killing field.
Yeah, and so that's how we get into our flashback of this week, which is they were clearing out towns to like take them to the quarantine zone, but only if there was room. And so a lot of them they just essentially took to the countryside and then just like killed them in a pit, apparently, which is just fucking terrible. And it was like a lady and her baby are like the bodies that we see before we cut back. And it turns out that they're like trying to evacuate this town. And that's where Bill, who's played by Nick Offerman, beautifully played by Nick Offerman. I was also reading something. He was never nominated for an Emmy for Parks and Recreation.
That feels wrong. The whole Parks and Rec
ridiculous
situation.
So we cut to basically him, and he can like he's in a basement, and he can hear people upstairs who are in.
He is underneath the basement. He's in his bunker.
They're in the real basement, and they're like well, there's nobody here, so we're just gonna leave. In my opinion, he didn't wait long enough.
No, I would
like get out and start doing shit.
Yeah, I would have waited at least
a
day.
It works out for him. It's fine. So he is like a kid in a candy store because he was like a prepper and he got really excited. He like broke into the Home Depot and stole a bunch of stuff, and he like made a fence around like the town square and everything. And his house was adorable,
and
so
he
nice.
Had a case of Camus. Named after my own heart.
He got the good wine. He found some chickens. He planted crops. He made a bunch of traps and tripwires and all kinds of stuff. And he was doing super good, having a great time, just having rabbit or fucking deer heart or whatever he was eating in the one scene, and wine every night. Doing super good. And then just watching the infected like blow themselves up on his all his traps. So everything's going good until Frank falls into one of his traps, and then my heart broke for 53 minutes. He was played by Murray Bartlett, who was just recently on the season 1 of The White Lotus. Boy, I don't even know how to really approach the rest of this episode because I am already on the verge of just crying again. It was so sweet.
Yeah, I've obviously seen like a lot of romantic things. This was one of the most precious relationships I have ever witnessed, and it was just so heartfelt and real, especially because Nick Offerman's character was obviously closeted beforehand. Yeah. And it was just wonderful, and it was just incredible.
So I asked you while we were watching it if you had watched The Magicians, because I can never remember if you did or didn't. And there is like a season 4, I think, episode called A Day in the Life, or A Life in the Day. It vibes a lot with this, and that also makes me cry a real lot. And I don't know, it was just so lovely, and like the way that Frank was just like, I want to, like, we can't just live practically. Like, there has to be something beautiful. Like, we're safe here. And he was like, it was very like the Moira on Schitt's Creek, where she's like, I want boxwoods in front of the motel and the cafe. And it's just like, I just think that's so important, especially for a character like Bill, who is just like, I am here to survive. And like, that is it. That is the end goal. And I think by the end, like by the time we get to the end and Frank is ill, and we're not really sure exactly what he has, but he's ill, and you just sort of see the way the house has changed from when he first got there. There's like Afghans everywhere. There's plants all over. He's painting, like Frank is painting like portraits and stuff. And there's
a little dog figurine.
There's flowers outside, and Bill is taking care of the flower. He's watering the flowers because he knows how much it means to Frank. And I just like, it's so beautiful. Because you're right. It's like, yes, I love a rom-com. Like, romantic things are my jam. I think it's fantastic. But it's like, it's always the things like this that sneak up on you, where you're like, you don't realize how it's like the zaniness of rom-coms actually like undercuts the emotion.
Yeah, and because it wasn't all beautiful all the time, it wasn't all lovey all the time, and it was just, Frank was always saying to Bill, I need you to love me the way I need you to love me. And and then Bill he fights it, but he does, and that's what you have to do in a partnership.
Yeah.
And to go back to your point about like, you know, Bill is there to survive. Yes, we absolutely need those people who, and Bill even says himself that him and Joel's job is to take care of somebody, is to take care or keep the people safe in their life. But then there are also the other people that you need to make this life like worth living.
It. Otherwise, there's no purpose.
And this is what I think shows like The Walking Dead miss. It was the joy. You know what I mean? Like The Walking Dead has never heard of joy. Yeah. You know, and the fact that like these two men got to experience it in such a horrid situation.
But like especially Bill. Can we just like especially Bill? Because he was so sad and alone before Frank showed up.
It was so awkward when Frank got there, and he just didn't know what to do with himself. Oh my god! I hate you. I'm so sorry. It's just so wonderful.
It was so beautiful.
Oh my god!
Because I also really, I'm trying so hard, you guys. If you're still watching, I fucking owe you a Coke. I just also loved because there was a moment, a scene where we had a flashback, and Tess and Joel like came to like visit essentially because Frank had been talking to a nice woman on the radio, and Bill was like, "You fucking what?" It was so funny. And so they had like a nice dinner, and like here's the thing is I feel robbed of more Frank and Tess scenes.
Oh, I know.
Like
they were best girlfriends.
Best girls by the end of that day. So they also were the ones that came up with the decade of music being the like symbol or signs or whatever that they were going to be using going forward. I also liked that, like, even though Bill was like reticent the whole time, he was like in agreement with Joel, where he was like, because clearly that's where they were getting Frank's pills and stuff. They did end up trading, and he got his new fence and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really fantastic, and I just feel like this show has no right.
A show based on a video game has no right to be this beautiful.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And
so, I mean, like, largely the whole meat of this episode was just their beautiful, like, I don't know, like, 17-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, Frank is, like, too sick to, like, keep going. And he's like, this is what I want, and you're gonna help me kill myself with pills because I can't keep doing this. And then Bill did it too.
Mm-hmm.
And they got married!
My favorite was Kristen had the realization while we were watching it.
It wasn't even legal when the world ended, and they still did it! Oh! It's beautiful. I fucking get. Also, this was us the entire time. Will has footage that he claims he's editing into this, so apologies in advance.
He made the first meal for the last meal.
He remade the
rabbit, and he served it with the Beaujolais, and oh my god! And it was just, when he brought the wine in, I was like, surely there's no way that Bill is gonna let Frank do this by himself, because it's the one last way that he could look out for him is to do it with him. And so when he was like, there was already pills in the bottle, right? And he goes, enough to kill a horse, and so it's just wonderful.
Well, it's also nice that he gave Frank even extra so that it would happen faster.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you were my purpose and you're gonna be gone, so what's the point? I don't know the last time I was this emotional about a TV show. And this is episode 3, you guys. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
All right. Also, Bella Ramsey, you have a lot of nerve because you warned us about episode 1 and just let this happen to us.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they go back to the bedroom and die together beautifully, I assume.
Yeah.
And then apparently
and I just love that they put in the note that they left the window open
so the house
didn't smell. Just beautiful.
It's so wonderful. So I did also, I guess it's different because in the video game, Bill and Ellie do meet.
Oh.
But this was just, I feel like you couldn't escape this.
I'm so glad that they did it this way.
So Joel and Ellie do arrive. They obviously, nobody is answering. They're pretty sure they're dead or something.
And I love that the tell for Joel is the mums and the flower pots are dead. Yeah.
He also is about to open the bedroom door when the front door closes on itself, and he goes back to find Ellie, and she's found the letter from Bill with the car key on the front.
Well, it looks like there's something pushed up against the door because he was trying to open it and he couldn't. So
we very gratefully don't see their bodies because we don't know how long it's been, but like at least months. It was sort of just lovely, and Bill like left everything to Joel because he was like, that's, like you said, that's what our purpose is.
And we did find out that the reason why that the 80s music was playing is because he didn't reset the thing. Yeah.
So for a little while at least.
And then I think this is the first time that Joel has verbally communicated his buy-in to this journey with Ellie.
Yeah, because he was like, because the whole time so far, it's like, get her to like these people, and then we'll get the battery and we're on our own. Get her to these people. So it was like, get her to the Fireflies in Boston, and then it was like, get her to Bill, he'll help. And now it's like, my brother's in trouble in Wyoming, so I'll take you as far as Wyoming. He's also set some ground rules. He doesn't want to talk about Tess or their pasts at all. I feel like that's going to change.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like emotionally spent and devastated from this episode.
Yep.
It was so Lovely.
Listen, future boyfriend, husband, person, partner, if you don't love me like that, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it at all.
It was just, and I mean, gosh, the chemistry between the two of them too. It felt so realistic and lived in, and
It did.
so good. I mean, Murray Bartlett, he won an Emmy for season 1 of The White Lotus, I think.
He can have another one.
He's doing amazing, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I don't have anything else to say. This, so far, my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For real.
And I think the show would have to absolutely biff the rest of the episodes for this to not be in the top 5 of my year-end TV shows, just based on this episode.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. So, I'm gonna go cry in bed, and we will see you next week. Like and subscribe. Let us know if you want us to wail at you some more. We can watch some more sad shit. Have you seen Terms of Endearment?
No.
We could watch Terms of Endearment or something.
Or you just put on the very end of Moulin Rouge. Anytime that a man is like full body sobbing, you can't. Or you can tune in like 3 months when we finally get to season 3B of Teen Wolf. Yeah. And we get to a certain point with Styles, and I lost it. Yeah. So, you know.
One last thing, it's something that I love about Nick Offerman is that he's very childlike sometimes. And so after Frank had told Bill that he wanted to die, he was like sitting on the couch and he like made himself very small and he was kind of, it was just like, it's just,
oh my God. And the giggle when he had the strawberry, because
the strawberry!
Frank traded Tess for
a gun
for
strawberry seeds.
And then Nick Offerman giggled.
It was fantastic. Okay. I'm going to walk into the sea.
I'm going to drink myself to death.
We'll be back
and
next
hold
week.
my cat.
Bye.
Bye.